Joanne Smith, Half Truncal Travel, in opposition. And it is worth noting that none of the people...
All right, thank you very much.
Danny Marie Mitchell, California State Horsemen's Association, in strong opposition.
Gary Johnson, Half Truncal Travel, oppose.
Steve Chambers, Western Fairs Association, in opposition.
Mr. Chairman, Richard Harris on behalf of Feld Entertainment, the owners of Ringling Brothers Circus, and we are opposed to this bill. Thank you.
Seeing no other opposition, any questions or comments from members? Mr. Harper.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to note that one of the things that wasn't brought up, a lot of us think in terms of the context of the circus or perhaps the fairgrounds, which, of course, all of us know that each of the local fair boards are appointed by the governor, and their attitude towards elephant rides sometimes changes with governor's administrations. But one thing that I wanted to point out is I've seen the elephants utilized in my areas at weddings. A lot of us don't think in those terms, but in an Indian wedding, it is not uncommon to be able to see elephants, sometimes camels, and sometimes other exotic animals. And I've seen these animals used in this way as a part of the celebration that folks have and with the guides. And it's something to behold and something that I think was very appropriate. And I think a lot of the speakers in opposition illustrated the point. But I think that we often overlook subcultures or cultures that aren't a part of our own, and we overlook what their values are. And the diversity of America, I think, is very important, and it's very important for us to be able to respect that. And so I'll be voting in opposition.
Thanks, Mr. Harper. Mr. Gallagher.
Yeah, Senator, I supported your bill last year, and I think I'm going to support this bill today. But I think there's at least a question raised here by some of the folks who have spoken in opposition. Seems like people who are very involved in this with elephants, veterinarians, zoologists, research scientists, conservationists, who are saying that, this isn't used properly, this is an effective tool of husbandry, that it's not cruel. I'm not an elephant handler. I don't know anything about it. I mean, when I see a bullhook, to me that looks, I guess it looks not like something that I would want to be handled with, right? Obviously, but
I hope.
So certainly you have that emotional pull. But in all seriousness, I find this in farming. that a lot of times people who don't know about farming tell me what I should be doing out on my farm when they don't know anything about it. Right. And so, could maybe somebody kind of address some of these points? Is this a useful tool, and if absolutely not, why? And I mean more from the proponents than the opposition.
It's an outdated tool, and that is the problem. This new management style, protected contact, was created 25 years ago because we found out that there was a better way to care for elephants that did not use aversive methods, did not use abusive methods. And while we don't share space, we can still access elephants, be able to treat them. We can do everything that the people that are using guides claim that we can't do, that we can't medically care for our elephants. That is absolutely not true. So there's a true misunderstanding of the opponents on how protected contact works and how well elephants respond to that training style. So it really is outdated. And I will say currently that of the 40 elephants in California, 30 are currently managed in protected contact. And those are in AZA facilities, receiving the best care.
So doesn't that speak to that there's kind of two different ways, two different methods out there? You've introduced a newer method that you think is more modern and effective, but in a way, aren't we kind of choosing between which one is better here when there are two accepted methods for how you approach and contact elephants?
There are two, but there's a reason why there's a new method, and the reason is to avoid using those aversive, abusive methods. And keepers and trainers to this day are still getting injured and killed because they're choosing to share space with an elephant. They don't respond to the guide. They don't have to. But from the time they were a calf, they were taught that they were being dominated and being abused with this tool.
Thank you, Mr. Medina.
I voted against the bill last year, and this year, as the bill moved forward, I submitted a letter asking the author to grandfather the two businesses that are currently using the guide. And the author declined. I have been to Half Trunk Will Travel. I've seen the elephants participate in the Paris parade, and don't believe that it is in the best interest to be putting these businesses out of business in California. So with that, I will not be supporting this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Medina. Mr. Williams.
I just had a couple questions about this sort of claim on the ability to reach the elephant for facilitating breeding. The opposition brought up this question of better breeding rates, which I would imagine would be more important with African populations than many Asian populations. But why? What is the claim? I guess the claim from the opposition. Why is it better for facilitating breeding? And I'd like to hear from the proponents of what they feel about that.
You're the proponents.
Yeah. He was asking.
Actually, it was a question
He
of
was
both,
asking
but
about you,
yeah.
and then
So yeah, my first question was to the opposition. Why do you feel that the use of the guide is facilitates breeding at a higher rate?
It's a proven fact based on numbers. In every free contact facility that uses the guide, they have better success rates in breeding. They can encourage, first of all, they can do all the necessary blood tests and urine tests to see when the female is cycling. You don't have to trick the elephant or coax them over to do any sampling or run any samples that you need to. You can test when they're cycling. And to your question earlier, Asian elephants are more endangered than African. So all the numbers that I gave you are predominantly Asian elephant births. And those are the ones that we need to focus on. And those are usually the ones that you see managed. Those are the ones that are at Indian weddings. So you can do any testing you need to so you know when the elephant should breed and you know when to put the male and the female together so that they can breed. You can also monitor the pregnancies more closely so that, first of all, you know when they're pregnant. Oakland Zoo had 2 elephants that were pregnant and they didn't even know it. And that's unacceptable because they need prenatal care. And if you can't get around your elephant, if you can't spend time with them and know the differences in their abilities and their care, be able to do everything you need to be able to do to monitor that baby, then you can lose that baby. And every single one is valuable as far as species survival and genetic diversity. What was the other thing?
The other part of your question, specifically referencing the AZA side of it, AZA did create a policy which limits the amount of time that we spend with our elephants in shared space, but a notable exception to that is elephants giving birth. Because a lot of times what happens with these elephants when they're giving birth is they aren't as familiar with the process, and sometimes the mothers will actually become so excited that they will actually at times hurt the babies. So people being present in that moment and in that situation has saved so many babies' lives because they've actually been able to go in there and pull the baby away from the mom until the mom calms down, and then they're able to reintroduce the baby to the mom and save the baby's life and then end up having that baby grow to adulthood. So that's pretty significant there. That's partly why they have such a high % rate of success, because they're actually able to help the elephant through that process.
Do the proponents want to add anything to that?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, we don't trick our elephants to do anything. They're trained. And so if I ask the elephant to come over to the training wall to do a blood draw, The elephant will come over and present its ear, and I'm on the other side, and I very much have physical touch to be able to do a blood draw. And we regularly do blood draws on our elephants. There definitely is a difference in the mindset of these facilities. We are very progressive, and I will say that with breeding, the San Diego Safari Park has had 13 elephant calves born, all in protected contact, and they are able to train those elephants, and they've never had to actually pull them from their mothers. They've actually been very successful and have been able to thrive on their own. So we're kind of moving away from this extremely controlled environment, and that goes back to the guide or the bullhook, this extremely controlled environment versus going off of what we know, what they do in the wild, and having them have the best life that we can in captivity.
And so could I sum it up to say that you feel that there will be enough birth rates to perpetuate the population in captivity, but that your methods are closer to what they would experience in the wild, and therefore better for the elephants, even if the rate is slightly lower?
Absolutely. I think our populations, this issue in itself is a much more complex. This does not just have to do with one training style versus the other. It has to do with elephants' general overall health and well-being in captivity. So there's a lot of other issues that go along with that. But the elephants that can breed will breed, and very successfully in protected contact.
Except that the San Diego birds that she referenced, they didn't know that some of their elephants were pregnant and some of their babies got kicked to death.
All right, thank you. Were there any follow-ups that you wanted to continue doing, Mr. Williams?
No, that was a good explanation from both.
All right, thank you. Any other comments from members? Senator Lara, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just, again, I think this is a much more reasonable approach that addresses the governor's veto. And in terms of the letter from my colleague, Mr. Medina, I mean, those amendments he was requesting would pretty much render the bill ineffective, given that there's these two entities that he wanted us to grandfather in are the only two left that are actually using the bullhook. So with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Lara. I am recommending an aye. Do pass as amended. You're taking technical amendments, so thank you for that. We live in an enlightened society. I found your last bill reasonable enough, but the goal is to get the governor's signature. Let's call the roll. Oh, is there a motion? Motion by Ms. Eggman. There is a second by Mr. Garcia. Let's call the roll.
The motion is to pass as amended to the Committee on Arts and Entertainment. Levine.
Aye.
Levine, aye. Gallagher. Bigelow. Dodd.
Aye.
Dodd, aye. Eggman. Aye. Eggman, aye. Christina Garcia.
Aye.
Ms. Garcia, aye. Eduardo Garcia. Mr. Garcia, aye. Gomez. Harper.
No.
Harper, no. Lopez.
Aye.
Lopez, aye. Mathis. Medina.
No.
Medina, no. Olson.
Aye.
Olson, aye. Solis.
Aye.
Solis, aye. Williams.
Aye.
Williams, aye. 9-2.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Senator. With bipartisan support, your bill is out 9-2. We'll keep the roll open
Mr.
for
Members.
additional votes. Next, we have the consent calendar. Is there a motion? Motion by Ms. Olson, second by Mr. Dodd. Let's call the roll.
The motion is to pass to the Committee on Natural Resources with recommendation to consent. Levine.
Aye.
Levine, aye. Gallagher.
Aye.
Gallagher, aye. Bigelow. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Eggman.
Aye.
Eggman, aye. Christina Garcia.
Aye.
Ms. Garcia, aye. Eduardo Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Garcia, aye. Gomez. Harper.
Yes.
Harper, aye. Lopez.
Aye.
Lopez, aye. Mathis. Medina.
Aye.
Medina, aye. Olson.
Aye.
Olson, aye. Solis. Solis, aye. Williams.
Aye.
Williams, aye. 12.
Consent calendar is out with 12 votes. And I think we've got some bills that are on call.
Item number 2, SB 554. Missing members, Bigelow. Dodd. Dodd, aye. Christina Garcia, aye. Gomez. Harper. I'm sorry, Harper, no. Medina. Solis. Solis, aye. Bigelow. Senate Bill 554, item number 2. Mr. Bigelow.
Opposed? No.
Bigelow, no. 2, 4, 6,
554.
8, 10. 10 to 1.
We don't want to close the roll yet because there's some members that haven't shown up still.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to keep that open as some members still aren't here.
Frank, item number 2.
Yes.
Item number 3, Senate Bill 814. Missing or not voting members, Gallagher.
No.
Gallagher, no. Bigelow.
No.
Bigelow, no. Eggman.
Aye.
Eggman, aye. Christina Garcia.
Aye.
Ms. Garcia, aye. Eduardo Garcia. Gomez. Mathis. Solis. Williams.
Aye.
Williams, aye. 7.
We'll keep that one open as well. You can. You did not.
Senate Bill 814, Solis. Solis, aye.
Gomez
It's-
walked in if you want to call him now.
Item number 3, Senate Bill 814, Gomez.
Aye.
Gomez, aye. 9 to 4.
That bill is out 9-4.
Senate Bill 1062, absent or not voting members, Gallagher.
Aye.
Gallagher, aye. Bigelow.
Aye.
Bigelow, aye. Gomez.
Aye.
Gomez, aye. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
SB 1062 is out 10-12.
12 to 2.
Pardon me, 12-2.
Item number 5, Senate Bill 1089. Eggman.
Aye.
Eggman, aye. Christina Garcia.
Aye.
Christina Garcia, aye. Eduardo Garcia. Eduardo Garcia, aye. Gomez.
Aye.
Gomez, aye. Solis. Solis, aye. Williams.
Aye.
Williams, aye. 10.
SB 1089 is out 10-4.
Item number 6, Senate Bill 1340. Absent or not voting members, Gallagher.
No.
Gallagher, no. Bigelow.
1340? No.
Bigelow, no. Dodd.
Aye.
Dodd, aye. Eggman.
Aye.
Eggman, aye. Christina Garcia. Gomez.
No.
Gomez, no. Solis.
No.
Solis, no. 6, 7.
Did I vote on 1314?
6-7 on that bill.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, that bill fails 6-7. Is there a motion for reconsideration for the senator? All right. All right, without objection, we will accept that.
Which one? 13.
Wow, that failed
1340. Christina Garcia, no.
Failed without any opposition. The second will fill the landscape. 6 votes. Needs
6 to 8.
2, 6 to 8.
Did you already do the consent calendar?
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 7, Senate Bill 1473. Bigelow?
Yes.
Bigelow, aye. Gomez? Aye. Gomez, aye. It's 12, 13, 14 to 0.
Consent calendar is out, 14 to 0. Are we finished?
Item number 2, Senate Bill 554. Gomez? No. Gomez, no. 10 to 2.
SB 554 is out, 10 to 2. We did it all. All right, thank you very much, members. This committee is now adjourned.